Welcome, and thank you for joining us today. At the Center for Trauma and Resilience Research, we believe that healing and growth are both deeply personal and profoundly communal. Whether you are a clinician, educator, advocate, student, policymaker, or someone seeking to better understand the effects of trauma, your presence here matters. This presentation is an opportunity to explore how cutting-edge research, compassionate care, and lived experience come together to advance mental health, emotional resilience, and social change. We know that trauma touches every community, but so does the power of resilience. Our mission is rooted in a simple yet powerful idea that recovery is possible and knowledge can be a pathway to hope. Through science, storytelling, and systemic innovation, we aim to foster spaces that are safe, inclusive, and transformative. We're honored to have you with us as we share, learn, and imagine a future where resilience is nurtured. Trauma is addressed with dignity, and every person has the opportunity to thrive. Welcome. We're so glad you're here.
Here is our exploration of one of the most fundamental yet elusive aspects of the human experience: pain. While often thought of as a simple physical response to injury, pain is anything but simple. It is a complex, multidimensional phenomenon that touches our bodies, minds, emotions, and relationships. Pain doesn't exist in a vacuum. It's shaped by our thoughts, memories, expectations, and even the people around us. In this presentation, we'll delve into how pain is influenced not just by biological factors like nerve signals and tissue damage, but also by psychological patterns such as fear and catastrophizing, and by social dynamics like trust, family modeling, and cultural beliefs. We'll look at how pain develops across the lifespan, how it's communicated, especially in populations like children or those with dementia, and how healthcare systems are evolving to better respond to this complexity. Together, we'll unpack why understanding pain as more than a symptom is essential to improving treatment, empathy, and healing for those who suffer. Let's begin by recognizing pain for what it truly is, not just a signal from the body, but a deeply personal, lived experience.
Here is our exploration of one of the most fundamental yet elusive aspects of the human experience: pain. While often thought of as a simple physical response to injury, pain is anything but simple. It is a complex, multidimensional phenomenon that touches our bodies, minds, emotions, and relationships. Pain doesn't exist in a vacuum. It's shaped by our thoughts, memories, expectations, and even the people around us. In this presentation, we'll delve into how pain is influenced not just by biological factors like nerve signals and tissue damage, but also by psychological patterns such as fear and catastrophizing, and by social dynamics like trust, family modeling, and cultural beliefs. We'll look at how pain develops across the lifespan, how it's communicated, especially in populations like children or those with dementia, and how healthcare systems are evolving to better respond to this complexity. Together, we'll unpack why understanding pain as more than a symptom is essential to improving treatment, empathy, and healing for those who suffer. Let's begin by recognizing pain for what it truly is, not just a signal from the body, but a deeply personal, lived experience. When we experience an emotion like fear, joy, or sadness, it might feel like both our mind and body respond all at once. Your heart races, your stomach clenches, or you feel a rush of warmth or tears. This is because while emotions and physical reactions are not generated from the exact same part of the brain, they are deeply interconnected. At the center of emotional processing is a part of the brain called the amygdala. The amygdala acts like an emotional radar system. When something potentially threatening or emotionally important happens, the amygdala fires off signals. If you hear a loud noise in the night or get unexpected bad news, it's your amygdala that first registers danger or distress. But the amygdala doesn't act alone. It sends signals to the hypothalamus, another brain region that functions like a command center for the body's automatic systems. The hypothalamus kicks off what we often call the fight or flight response. It tells your heart to beat faster, your lungs to take in more air, and your body to release stress hormones like adrenaline and cortisol. In this way, emotions rapidly trigger physical responses. Meanwhile, another part of the brain, the prefrontal cortex, helps us make sense of these emotions and decide how to respond. It's the thinking part of the brain, helping us regulate our feelings and actions. If the amygdala screams danger, the prefrontal cortex might step in and assess, is this really dangerous or just a false alarm? There's also the insula, a part of the brain that acts as a bridge between emotional and physical experiences. It helps you tune into internal body signals, like the sensation of your heart pounding or a knot in your stomach, and ties those sensations to emotional meaning. Altogether, these brain regions form a sophisticated network. While no single brain center is responsible for both emotion and physical reaction, they communicate constantly. That's why emotional experiences often come with physical symptoms, and why calming the body through breathing, mindfulness, or movement can help soothe the mind. Understanding this connection can be empowering. It reminds us that when our body reacts strongly, it's often responding to emotional input, and that we can work with both our body and mind to find balance again.
When we think about pain, we often picture a physical injury. But what we feel emotionally and what we believe about our pain can dramatically shape how intense that pain becomes. Emotions like fear, anxiety, sadness, and frustration can amplify pain signals in the brain, making the experience feel worse than the original physical cause alone might suggest. One key concept here is pain catastrophizing, the tendency to assume the worst about pain. Thoughts like, "This will never get better," or "I can't handle this," can actually increase stress hormones, heighten sensitivity, and lower pain tolerance. This cognitive emotional loop becomes a powerful amplifier of pain. The good news is that these thought patterns are changeable. By addressing negative emotions and reframing unhelpful beliefs, individuals can often reduce their pain experience, even if the physical source of the pain remains the same. Mindfulness, cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, and relaxation techniques are all tools that help interrupt the cycle of fear, catastrophic thinking, and heightened pain. In short, emotions and thoughts don't just accompany pain, they are part of the pain. Effective treatment starts by recognizing and addressing this powerful mind-body connection. No two people experience pain in exactly the same way. Each person's pain is filtered through their own biology, life experiences, culture, and emotional state. Pain is not just a symptom. It is a story told through the body, mind, and relationships. Recognizing the personal nature of pain helps clinicians and caregivers respond with empathy, validation, and individualized care.
Pain is not only something we feel, it's something we learn. From infancy through adulthood, our understanding of pain is shaped by the people around us and the environments we grow up in. As children, we observe how caregivers react to injury, illness, or discomfort. Their words, facial expressions, and actions become our templates for how to respond to pain. For instance, if a parent reacts with alarm to a scraped knee, the child may learn to associate minor pain with danger and distress. On the other hand, calm reassurance can foster resilience. This social learning continues throughout life. Adolescents are influenced by peers and cultural expectations. Some learn to tough it out, while others learn to seek help or avoid activity. Adults, in turn, bring these ingrained responses into how they communicate pain to others, whether with doctors, family, or coworkers. In chronic pain, especially, earlier experiences with how pain was treated or dismissed can shape coping strategies or maladaptive beliefs that persist. Understanding how pain behaviors are learned, and sometimes unlearned, is key to effective prevention and treatment. By recognizing the powerful role of family, culture, and social modeling in pain expression, we can design interventions that teach healthy, adaptive ways to manage pain from the very beginning of life. Trust plays a critical role in how pain is communicated, assessed, and treated. Research has shown that when individuals receive advice or care from someone they trust, their expectations, and even their actual experience of pain can shift significantly. Trusted healthcare providers can foster a sense of safety, increase treatment effectiveness, and reduce distress. Conversely, distrust can undermine outcomes, especially when patients feel unheard or dismissed. Building strong, empathetic, and consistent relationships in healthcare settings isn't just good practice, it's essential to successful pain management. Trust becomes a therapeutic tool, shaping the brain's expectation pathways and ultimately influencing the level of pain felt.
Chronic pain is more than prolonged discomfort. It's a complex condition that impacts the whole person. Unlike acute pain, which often resolves with healing, chronic pain can persist even after physical injury has healed, and it often involves changes in the nervous system, emotional health, and daily functioning. Effective management requires a comprehensive approach that integrates physical rehabilitation, psychological support, education, and when necessary, pharmacological treatment. Multimodal care, like combining cognitive behavioural therapy with physical therapy and education about pain neuroscience, can break the cycle of fear, avoidance, and disability. It's also essential to personalise care, considering each patient's unique history, beliefs, and life context. This slide emphasises the shift from a purely biomedical model toward a biopsychosocial approach, treating not just the symptoms, but the person behind them. Through collaboration, education, and empathy, chronic pain can be managed more effectively, improving both quality of life and functional outcomes.
Managing pain effectively often requires a multifaceted, personalized approach. While medical treatments play a role, everyday strategies can significantly empower individuals to regain a sense of control and improve quality of life. Practical tips include learning to pace physical activity, using relaxation and mindfulness techniques, staying physically active with gentle movement, and developing healthy sleep habits. Cognitive behavioral strategies, such as challenging catastrophic thinking and replacing it with balanced self-talk, can also reduce the emotional amplification of pain. Social support, nutrition, hydration, and engaging in meaningful activities are additional tools that support overall resilience. This slide offers simple, evidence-based practices that individuals can incorporate into daily life to help manage and reduce pain's impact.
Not all pain is visible, and that's one of its most misunderstood features. Chronic pain conditions like fibromyalgia, migraines, or neuropathic pain often show no outward signs, making sufferers feel unseen or disbelieved. Invisible pain can lead to social isolation, stigma, and internalized doubt, especially when others minimize the experience with comments like, "But you look fine." This slide underscores the importance of validating pain even when there are no external markers. Recognizing the legitimacy of invisible pain is a crucial step toward compassionate, inclusive care. Belief, not just observation, must guide our response. Access to reliable, engaging, and evidence-based educational resources is a vital part of improving pain literacy for patients, caregivers, and professionals alike. Understanding pain begins with demystifying it. Resources like patient-friendly videos, pain neuroscience education modules, books, comics, and digital platforms can teach the science behind pain in relatable ways. These tools help reframe pain from something to fear or fight into something to understand and manage. They also empower individuals to advocate for their needs, ask informed questions, and actively participate in their care. Whether used in clinical settings or community education, these resources foster empathy, clarify misconceptions, and build a shared language around pain. Education in this context is not just informative, it's therapeutic. Erin's story, more than just a sore back. I want to share an example of how to experience and process pain so that it does not hurt as much and can heal faster. Erin is a 42-year-old teacher who wakes up one morning with a sharp pain in her lower back. At first, she thinks she must have just slept in a bad position, but as she gets ready for work, the pain worsens. By the time she reaches the classroom, bending over to pick up a dropped pen feels excruciating. Erin's nervous system registers the discomfort through nociceptors, which signal the brain that something is wrong in the lower back. Her muscles tense up to protect the area, and inflammation begins to set in. She instinctively limits her movement. Erin is overwhelmed with worry. She is worried, what if this is serious? I can't afford to take time off work. What if I never recover properly? These thoughts spiral into pain catastrophizing, a mindset where pain is interpreted as a major threat. Her anxiety increases, which in turn amplifies the perception of pain. Erin calls her sister after work. Her sister, who had back pain last year, says, "I get it. I thought I'd never be able to lift my kids again, but physical therapy really helped. Don't panic, it's probably a strain, not something permanent." This reassurance calms Erin down. Later that evening, her partner helps her stretch gently and encourages her to rest, not just physically, but mentally too. Erin decides to see a physiotherapist the next day. The therapist explains that pain does not always equal damage. She learns about central sensitization, how her nervous system might be amplifying the pain signal due to stress and fear. Armed with education and exercises, Erin begins to feel more in control. She gradually reintroduces movement, practices mindfulness to reduce anxiety, and challenges her negative thoughts. Within a week, Erin's pain improves, but more importantly, she now sees pain differently. It's not just a signal of damage. Her beliefs and emotions shape her experience. Support and education matter. She's learned to process her pain, not just endure it. Erin's story shows that pain is not just physical. It is shaped by what we think, how we feel, and who supports us. Understanding pain this way helps people move from fear to function. Thank you for being part of today's journey. Your time, attention, and openness reflect a shared commitment to understanding trauma and championing resilience, not just as clinical or academic concepts, but as lived realities that impact our families, communities, and futures. At the Center for Trauma and Resilience Research, we believe real change happens when knowledge meets compassion and when diverse voices come together to drive healing forward. Whether you're here to learn, advocate, collaborate, or reflect, your presence matters, and your efforts make a difference. As we close, we invite you to stay connected, continue the conversation, and carry forward what you've learned into the spaces where you live and lead. Healing is not linear, and resilience is not one size fits all, but together we can build systems, relationships, and responses that support recovery, dignity, and hope. Thank you again for joining us. We look forward to walking this path with you. These are the key sources that inform this presentation. They represent research from psychology, theology, and cultural studies.